With an issue facing millions of people. We are right now in the middle of National Infertility Awareness Week. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says more than 6 million women in the U.S. have trouble getting pregnant or staying pregnant. So many people, yet it is so isolating for people going through it.
Each failed cycle made me question myself. Was I woman enough, good enough, or even committed enough to get pregnant? Could we be happy if life were just the two of us? Was I enough?
Those emotions felt among so many families trying to have a baby. It's what prompted Sarah Ickes to start the Hope Charlotte Infertility Support Group. Participants in the group talk about everything from infertility and pregnancy loss to IVF and third-party reproduction. We first spoke to her back in 2022.
It's hard. It's hard to watch everyone you know, your friends, having babies. People got, married after you got married. People who had started trying and got pregnant that next month. So I was struggling.
Took Sarah and her husband nearly 10 years and $40,000 to have their first child using a donor embryo back in 2020. They now have 2 kids. But her fight to help families feel less alone continues. I caught up with Sarah this week ahead of this weekend's Walk of Hope to raise more awareness.
Sarah, as always, it's great to catch up with you and your wonderful family.
Yes.
As you look at them every single day, what goes through your mind?
I'm just really grateful. I think I'm grateful that, our infertility journey was hard. It was a long road. We went through a lot of different treatments, and ultimately we used donor embryos. So if we had success on our own, those would not be the kids we have. So looking at them every day, I just feel really thankful that IVF exists. I feel thankful that there was couples willing to donate their embryos to give us a chance to be parents. So grateful, I think, is the word that comes to mind.
What will the event be like this weekend?
I'm super excited. It's going to be at Truist Field, so it's bigger and better than ever. We've got about probably 300 people we're expecting to attend. We're going to have the walk. We're also going to have all of our sponsors out there to be able to come out and meet different clinic representatives.
For those who are still walking this journey, right, still have not been able to conceive and have that child, what's that like for them to come to this event? Why do you think it's important for them to come?
We hope that it'll be inspiring. We hope that it'll make them feel hopeful to see some of those success stories and to see that they're not alone, that there's lots of people walking this path with them. We hope that they can come out and feel supported, feel empowered, be able to connect with other resources as well and meet other people who are going through the same thing.
For those who feel like, I don't know, does it become like a moment where, I don't know if you went through this where you were going to just give up?
Yeah, we were at the point towards the end of our journey. We had done 3 egg retrievals. We had transferred 7 embryos that were genetically ours. And to be honest, doing donor eggs was simply too expensive. We were lucky that our clinic at the time was starting a donor embryo program. So we signed up and we got the 2 embryos and the first transfer failed. And the second transfer resulted in my son, and he's 5 now.
You go through these ups and downs, and there's hope, and then it can be dashed any given day. Yep. How do you deal with those?
It varies for people. Therapy. I think therapy helps a lot. I think being able to talk to your partner and communicate with your partner, and just knowing that you aren't alone and that there are people who understand what you're going through.
So many of these procedures can cost, tens of thousands of dollars,
yes.
And sometimes they have to be repeated multiple
yes.
times. This bankrupts people trying to do this.
It's expensive.
Yeah, what can we do to help on that side?
I mean, health coverage, health insurance coverage for IVF, insurance coverage for IUI. I think what companies don't always realize is that they think it's going to cost them a lot of money to cover it. But what I found with my own experience when I was going through it is that if the word infertility was part of the diagnosis, nothing was covered. So we didn't have coverage. So we paid out of pocket for everything. Hence why donor eggs, I mean, the price quoted, and this was years ago, was $20,000 just for the donor eggs. Yeah. And that's not even a guarantee it's going to work. And so that's the tough part. But if we had more universal coverage and more insurance benefits that were available to people going through it, it would take that financial burden off.
Moms who might be watching right now who are trying, moms to be, what would you say to them?
I would just say find your people that support you. Find a way to process the feelings, to manage the feelings, and know that you aren't alone. And also know that no matter what your stopping point is, it doesn't mean you're giving up. You often hear people say, don't give up, keep it trying, keep it going. But sometimes you have to know your breaking point and your stopping point and knowing that, I don't want to do IVF, that's not for me. I don't want to adopt, I don't want to do foster care. People very callously and casually will say, oh, you can just adopt, or oh, what about foster care, Yeah. Those aren't easy processes either, and they're not for everyone.
The Charlotte Walk of Hope is happening Saturday at Truist Field. Starts at 10 a.m., goes to about noon. Tickets range from $15 to $25, and the money supports the Resolve Infertility Association. Coming up next.